I know I've taught the class object, how to create objects, accessing properties methods, but I did not discuss accessors, the get accessors, the set accessors, then the constructor. Okay, I talked about function constructors, but I did not talk about prototypes and protection, protecting the objects. So for the sake of the others who are not here, I will go through the objects one after the other, but in a very fast model, right? So in a fast way.
Okay, sir.
Yes. Now, I thought I saw Demola now. He has left. There's no issue. That will not stop me from having my class. So now, object, as we all know, at its core, an object is a collection of properties where each property is defined as a key value pair. This is the key. This is the value. Key value. Hence, the word key value pair. So, objects are central to programming, and they can represent real-world entities, data structures, or even more abstract concepts. Unlike others, the primitive data type like the number string and booleans, objects can store multiple values and functions in the form of methods, right? So making them incredibly versatile, useful. So now this is an abstraction of what we call, we human being call the object car. So a car has a brand, in this case Toyota. It has a model Camry, the year of production, and some functions like engine start, car moving, car braking, car turning, car reversing, and so on and so forth, like that. So in object-oriented programming, we try as much as possible to, like here, see, to model real world entities. So we try to model real world entities so that we can um, work on the data surrounding this entity. You know, this, like the example I gave earlier on the car. One of the data is the brand, the model, the year of make, engine size, the volume of the engine, and so on and so forth, the speed, the torque, the power, and so on and so forth. Many informations. Now, there are different ways that we can create objects. Number one is the object literal, the simplest of all, using the curly braces. Then, excuse me, using the new object, you can create object using this new object construct. And once we have this, an object is created, not actually stored. It's not. Now, let me correct one impression. Unlike normal variable, that you create a variable let's say we label it X, we label this variable X, and data is stored into A, right? It's not actually like this. When we talk of object, two things are involved. One is the variable, let me call it the reference variable, the reference variable. And two, the object is itself. The object itself. So what is happening is that we create a variable somewhere, maybe in this case now person, and this person is now pointing to one object in the memory, right? So this variable is just having a reference to that object. It's not that this object is being stored inside it. No, it's not. It's not. That is the difference. This is wrong. It's not being stored inside. That is the difference between value variable. Can I use the word variable? Okay, value um variable. Okay, let me use the word variable and reference variable. So you can change the value of this in place, but you can't really change the value of this in place. You can only move the reference, move the pointer to another object. For example, if there's another object somewhere here, you can only move this pointer away from this object, redirect it to this object here. So is that clear enough?
Yes.
Okay. So now this is the second way that we can create an object. We have treated this before. I'm just running through. We can use the constructor function, wherein we use function, and if you notice, this is capitalized, right? It is done.
Sir, this
Okay.
number three.
Yes.
Also, like, and you were saying the second way of creating a function, and you wrote
No,
two
no,
of the
no,
like three.
no, no. This is second way. I've discussed this just now. This is second way. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, yes, sir, yes, sir.
I said this is the second way. The
I've seen it
first,
now, sir.
the first is object literal. The second way is new object. The third is the constructor function. So now, as I was saying, the it is just a naming convention that you capitalize constructor function. If I do not do this, if I use the lower case of p, it will work. It will still work, right? But conversion is capitalize it, and the reason is simple, so that anywhere in your program this is seen, they will know that yes, it is a constructor function, not nothing more. I could have as well used a lowercase p, lowercase p, it will still work. Now, just for me to prove that out, let's copy this out to the browser. If I run this, you will see John Doe and Jane Smith. Okay, I need to print it out. So console.log person1 and person2. So if I run, you can see. But if I use p, lowercase p here, change this to lowercase p and lowercase p, you will see it should run. You can see. So it's just for naming convention purposes, nothing more than that. Best practice. So
So I have a question.
okay,
Yeah, regarding this now, you said the second way of creating object is using the new objects,
yes, new object.
right? But in this case, we are combining the two together,
No.
the constructor and the new.
No, I'm not combining two. Okay, let me explain something here. Can you see this new keyword? excuse me, what do you think is
Yes, sir.
actually doing? Is the new keyword is actually creating the object.
Yes, sir.
See it
Okay.
as you having architectural drawing. You have your door, the sitting room, then maybe your kitchen space somewhere here. This is your kitchen, your sitting room. Now you have maybe there's an entrance here to a corridor. Then the bedroom, for example, is right sitting down here, right? The bedroom is sitting down right there. The toilet is an insert. The bathroom and the toilet, and so on. Now, this is architectural drawing. Some will call it blueprint. And in some cases, you can say is
Okay.
what a prototype, right? In some situation, or in some context, I mean. Now, this architectural drawing, right? It's not the building, or is it? Is it the building?
No, no.
No, it's not. But you
No,
can
sir.
use it to create the actual object, which is the building, the physical building that you can see, right? So this
Yes, sir.
can be used to create. So just take this new keyword as what is creating this object, right? The moment you,
Okay.
this is just a blueprint. This is a prototype, so to say.
Okay.
Aha. But
So it's still an object, like an
it's
object prototype.
exactly this is not the object. That is what I'm trying to say. This is not the object, so to say, right? It's just a prototype or
Okay.
a model, right? So for you to now have the object, this is now pointing pointing to the real object, right? This person one. So this is
Okay.
if I want to use a
So,
layman, this is your object now, so to say. Okay, so you want to ask something, David?
like what I'm trying to drive at is that you use both. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can.
Hello, sir.
I can hear you.
Yeah,
Continue.
what I'm trying to drive at is that you can, okay, like you cannot use um constructor function without using the new keyword.
No, you can't.
Okay, because you actually like separated them as a different kind of method of
Yes,
creating object. I don't know if you get that.
is different.
Okay.
Okay, let me bring
All right, sir.
let me bring this other one out so that you see the difference. Let's say I have let a car, for example, and I use still the new keyword object, right? Now this has created an object here called a car, but
Okay.
this other one is not a blueprint. Why is it not a blueprint? Is because now I will need to now start designing my car. Okay, this car has
Okay.
how many legs? Four. Um,
I
this
get that.
car,
I get that.
do you understand now? Has how many doors?
Yes, sir.
Two doors. But this other one has created the blueprint already, giving you the future of the object, right? And
Okay, sir.
Demola
Yes, sir.
will understand me a little bit. Now, in the UK, you will see certain areas that the houses, in fact, not certain area, most areas, in that area, the houses will look similar. In fact, it's not look similar, they are similar.
because the same blueprint, the same architectural drawing is used to construct those buildings in that area. You will move to another area, you will see another kind of building, and they will all also look the same. They will be the same. Not, don't let me use the word look. They are the same. The only difference is that some may now want to paint their door white. Some may now want to use a brown door, a black door. That, but the structure of the building, they are the same. You understand now? Aha. So it is now individuals that will now try to change the taste of the color to their preferences. Okay, how their garden should look like. Yes, those things will now be preferences. This one is a blueprint. For me to change how this one look, I must change this blueprint. But in the case of this one, the object is created already. I can now decide to, some can also do this. My vehicle, let's say let. Some can say vehicle, vehicle, new object. Then this vehicle can have, say, how many doors now? Two doors, for example. Four doors, four doors, for example. Then this vehicle can have how many legs? I've seen a car with three legs before. I mean three tires. So this one is not with a blueprint, but this one has blueprint.
Hello, sir.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Sorry I'm late.
Okay. Do you have any question?
No, I just joined.
Okay. All right. So David, is that clear now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So let's
Thank
move
you,
on.
Sean.
All right. So that is the third way. Like I said, we have done this before. I'm just running through. Um Now you can use object.create also. Now this object.create, unlike this other one, I want you to note the difference. Unlike this one is just object, right? But this one is object.create. Note that this object.create method creates a new object with the specified prototype. There's a prototype that is existing already. So now maybe you want to create another object of this prototype without you maybe using, probably you don't have access. Maybe you don't have access to the functionality of this proto, but you want to just create a similar thing, then maybe later they start adding your own features. It's like inheritance now. I don't want to use that word before, but I just have to. So it's like you inheriting every property of this object first. Then you can now start creating your another property of your choice. When we talk of inheritance, let's look at what is happening in nature. Inheritance. What is inheritance? That means that there must be a parent who has children. So, well, let's say just a son as an example here. Okay, let's say a son and a daughter, because I don't want the girls to shout at me that why must be the son? Why is only son? So let's say The parent has a son and a daughter. Now, there are some what was that biological word again? Traits that the son and daughter has picked from this parent. Am I right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
Aha. So there are some
Correct.
traits that this son has received from the parent and daughter also received from the parent. This is inheritance, right? Now,
Yes,
this
sir.
son and daughter now will now develop some certain traits of their own, unique to this person. And this one too will develop some traits unique to her. So this trait mixed up with the inherited one. By the time he too will start having children, part of this trait, of these two traits, right, will be transferred to his own children and our own children too. So that is what inheritance is all about. Now, let me use another example. You can have a general practitioner, a doctor. We call them GP, general practitioner. But under this general practitioner, we now have some specialists. Some we say they are gynecologists, right? Some we say they are pediatrics, right? Some we say they are ENT, ear, nose, and throat. Some we say orthopedic, and so on and so forth. That's the list is so enormous, right? Now, the fact that this orthopedic surgeon, the fact that he or she has chosen to specialize in this field does not mean that he or she cannot still function as a GP, because all the characteristics or features of this GP is embedded into all of them. Embedded into all of them. So they now have additional stuff. Maybe this one has additional A, this one has additional skill of B, this one has additional skill of C, this one also has additional skill of D, plus the GP skills, right? Plus the GP skills. So this GP skill is like inheritance, right? So it's like me now just carrying all these skills here, put into this one, just by using object or create. At the beginning, I said that object-oriented programming try to model the real world um, um, the real world objects like the car, even human being. The other time we saw the case of person. Now, even look at it here. We saw the case of person. Now, this person now, a person must have a name. At least you can't just exist in this world without a name. You must have a name. You must have age and age, right? You must have an address where you are living. Yes, although yes, I know in many countries these days, many are even living and sleeping under the bridge. But if you trace such person, it is not that person does not have an address, right? He or she will still have an address, probably due to one sickness or maybe drug addiction. He or she found himself or herself in that kind of situation. Many things could have happened to that person for sleeping under the bridge. But if you trace back, he or she must have an address. That person must have a relative, a relation whose address can still be used for him or her. So now this one is a property, as we all know. So this is more like, this is inheritance. Don't let me use the word more like, it is inheritance, because this object has inherited all the properties and behavior of this object into the size now started now adding its own property and features. Is there any question? Is that clear enough?
Yes,
Is that
sir.
clear enough? Okay. All right. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
So I want you
Yes, sir.
don't lose focus. Object or create an object, two different things entirely. So let's move on. The fifth one, factory functions. Factory function returns what? New object. Just as you can see here, this is an object, so it's returning the object. So in this case, there is no new keyword, because I won't say this is a proto, right? But at the same time, we can convert it. It will still inherit from the um the big brother prototype. Let me just copy. Let me go to the browser so that you see what I'm talking about. Okay, let me copy everything. And I go to the browser. Snippet. Okay. I've even done something of that before, but let me just create another one here. So if I run this, okay, it's not printing anything. Let me console.log person, console.log person one, then run. Now this is person one. You can see it's John Doe, 30 years of age. So if I click on this drop down, now you can see this is still inheriting from what? The big brother object. And this big brother object has some features. The method has own property, many things, right? Everything in JavaScript is object. Everything is if I create a function now, is object. Even if you create an array, you all know that it's an object. So everything will inherit from this object, this big brother object here, right? So I can now decide to add certain properties. Now look at this. Let, let me clear so that it will, we can see what I'm talking about. Let me expand. Now, if I drop this, now look at this property: age, first name, full name, last name, right? They are properties of this person one. This person one here. It is not on the prototype, right? It's not on the prototype. Now, if I want to add something to this prototype, let me see whether I can add to this object here, to that object. So all I need to do is call the underscore proto on this person. It's an object. Let me see, person dot. I want to see whether it's something I can do. Proto dot. Let me say run, a function called run, and I'm going to create a function for that. I say console dot log. I can run. Now, if I run it, right? Let me now go back. Okay, let me clear first. Let me clear console, run. Now, if I go down here now, this function run, I'm not seeing it here. I'm not seeing it on this person itself. I can see full name, this full name. I can see age. I can see last name. I can see first name. But this run that I just created is not seen here. It's not here. But I can run. I can do person one dot run. I can do this. I should be able to do this. Yes, I can run. You can see it's printing it out. Even on this person two, I should be able to run, to still say I can run. Yes, you can see is it. Why? Because it is now on the parental object, the big brother or big parent object. Let me clear again. Let me clear and run again so that now if I go down, you can see there's no running, but on the prototype, you can see the run there. So any object that inherits from this object, we have this run function in it. Because I've created that run on the prototype by doing that. So I'm already talking on prototype, which is meant to be down the line. So, but I needed to use that to explain to you that you can have inheritance through the object or create. You can even have inheritance through the prototype, the either the underscore proto underscore on the object or the prototype itself. Okay, let me go back. Or should I wait till? Okay, let me just wait till the time I will talk on prototype. So now, I hope this is clear. Factory function is clear, right? It's just returning this object, and once this object is returned, and you pass in your what's it called parameters, then the object for that person will be created. Is there any question before I move on?
No, sir.
No, no, sir.
Is there any question?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yes,
So
sir.
now,
Thank you so much.
another way you can create object is using classes. This is the most recent. It was just introduced in ECMAScript 6. And it is I will use the word syntactic, a phrase rather, not a word, a phrase, syntactic sugar. Now, what do I mean by syntactic sugar? Syntactic sugar is more like a facade. Let's say this is a screensaver, right? A screensaver. Something else is happening at the back, unknown to this user. So what this user is seeing is all this screen, but behind it, once he clicks something here or he does anything, these screens at the back of the so many things are happening. That is what a class is doing. Class is just like this facade. It's a syntactic sugar, which we now at the back end, it will use the constructor function. Everything is still coming back to here. So this, is it this one? No, not this one. This factory function. Yeah, to this one. Because this is actually creating a prototype, as I said earlier on, the blueprint. But instead of trying to use the constructor function, so what the class, where is it again? This one, what this class is doing is that it's giving you, so can I use the word is the path out, right? You can create your objects in one place by doing writing your method or your function out within, let me copy it out, within that class, so that the moment you now use the new keyword again on that class, you now create you create an object in the process. So let me come here again, select all, paste. Now you can see this is let me cut this out so that you see how you create a class. See, it's just a colibris class, then the name you are giving it, then colibris, then you now do whatever you want to do. But first, you do your constructor. What is the job of the constructor? It's just like your function constructor. If you just look at it, you will see that there's nothing difference. There's no difference between this and your function constructor, or is it? Tell me, is there any difference? Apart from this constructor keyword here, is there any difference? I'm asking.
No, sir.
No, sir. No, sir.
Exactly. So this is what is used to initialize the data. What's the time? So that I won't lose the track of time. Okay, I need to round up now. So I will stop here today. But let me conclude on this class.
Sorry, sir. Okay.
Yes.
Like you're yet to explain this full name bracket, rather.
Yes, I will. It is a method. You can see it's a function. Remember, a method is a function that belongs to what?
An object.
Exactly. You can see it's a function. So nothing more is a function. So now, before I get there, but you've understood this one, right? So
Yes,
I
sir.
can now create so many things inside this class. I can decide to do a set accessor, a get accessor, all I want, if I want rather. So, but the good thing is this: I can just create this. This one too now is a blueprint. I can use this class to create a blueprint in place, in one place, right? So if I now use this new keyword, it will create an object for me, right? So, and if I run this one, okay, I need to print it out. I need to print. Now, if I say I want to use this function now to get the name out, I will just use person one dot full name, right? If I run it, you will see John Doe being printed out. Okay, it's returning, but I need to console the log. It has returned, but I'm not printing it out. Console.log. If I run, that is John Doe. Because this person one, this is a data which is used by this constructor to initialize its properties, right? Then I can therefore have access also to this full name, because the moment I create a new object out of this blueprint, I have this object here has all the features of this blueprint, which full name, that method is inclusive. And when I do dot full name, it will return the first name and the last name. But if I haven't received the returned value, if I do not do anything with it, it's not going to be displayed as we saw the last time, until I now use the console.log to now print the returned value out to the screen. If I do same thing here, just change this person 1 to 2, I should have Jane Smith printed out, as you can see on the screen. So is there any question? Yeah,
No, sir.
this is not, it is not becoming like object. It is object-oriented programming.
Okay.
JavaScript is object-oriented programming. It is just that all this while we have not reached to that level. Yes, we
Okay.
are still going there. You will see the 4 pillars of
Yeah.
object-oriented programming. The 4 pillars are abstraction. We have indirectly been dealing with abstraction a long time. Then we have the what? Polymorphism.
Polymorphism.
We have the inheritance.
Yeah.
I just discussed the inheritance now, few minutes back. And we
Mhm.
have what? The encapsulation, which I'm still going to discuss
Encapsulation.
also, encapsulation. All these 4 pillars of object-oriented programming are all in JavaScript. And that is why JavaScript is OOP. Many years ago, it wasn't. But with the advent of this European standard,
Yes.
ECMA, they call it ECMA
Okay.
script. They started, and also the involvement of Microsoft. Microsoft got involved in it in the form of
Oh,
TypeScript.
wow.
Yes, the Microsoft got involved in JavaScript that gave birth to TypeScript. You understand? Because in C Sharp, which is proprietary to Microsoft, like you can't just be using less keyword anyhow. You must declare a variable with the type. For example, it's int x
Yeah.
equal 50, for example. I cannot later in my program go and now assign a string to it. It will reject it. It will
Yeah.
say, no, it's wrong, that I am an integer, not a string. It will reject it. So this feature of JavaScript, you just using the let keyword, then later you can assign string to it later, right? Is
Mhm.
not there in TypeScript. You can't do that in TypeScript. You must um state the type of the data you are working on. But if you do not want to state, you will still state that is any. You will still state that, okay, oh, this variable is any data type. Aha. Then
Okay.
the interpreter or compiler will know that this data type is any. So don't let me digress too much. So now I'm going to stop here. Is there any question on class? This is the last one. last method, I'm going to talk about how we can create the method to create an object. Is there any question?
No, sir.
Okay, so in the next, we will continue in the next class, but I need to give you an assignment. Okay, I'm coming. Let me pause the recording. Okay, so now this is the assignment. You define a class. Now, the name of the class, create a class name vehicle that has the following properties, these properties, and the constructor. You declare the constructor and the method. Then you create the object. Object creation in OOP is called instantiation. So you instantiate an object from the vehicle and you log the details of the vehicle. Is there any question on the assignment?
No, sir.
Others, is there any question on the assignment?
No,
Joshua, Demola?
no, thanks.
Okay, no question on the assignment. And Joshua, did you do the last assignment?
Last one.
Is a yes or no answer.
No, wait. I did it.
You said
The guy did not do it. His mom is around today. He quickly muted. Anyway, so is there any question on this assignment?
No, sir.
No,
Okay.
sir.
All right. So I think I can close today. Please, in case I forget in the next class, let me quickly put it down in the recording so that I myself will remember. I need to demonstrate. Where is the, okay, this is it. I need to demonstrate that this constructor is always called first before anything during your instantiation. So I need to demonstrate that first in the next class. All right, thank you, and God bless you all.
Sir.